The Grook and Grok and Grok and Grak and Grok and Grook and Grow, Screw Scree, Grow, Grog and Grow, Greg. Gregor, Greg, Grogogan, Grots, Grogi. True. Okay, what did we... How did we phrase this? Right. Has online rhetoric towards violence led to a normalization of violence, specifically political violence? How much of a role do you think the news plays versus online rhetoric on social media? What is the visible outcome of these internet security related to doxing and calls to violence? As a response from I think that'll do. Ah, God, we got more ads. Man, time flies. All I do is I look over, and the next thing you know, there's fucking ads. You'd think I was playing ads non-fucking stop. Fuck if I know. But a minute and a half every 30 minutes, that's still... 6%? 5%? Oh. All right, we're back. Here we go. Let's see what it says. Key points. Research suggests online rhetoric may normalize political violence with evidence linking it to real-world events. Social media likely amplifies violent rhetoric more directly than news due to its speed and interactivity. It seems likely government responses will focus on stronger laws against doxing and online violence, but outcomes are uncertain. Impact of online rhetoric. Online rhetoric, especially from political leaders, appears to contribute to normalizing violence, particularly in politics. Studies show this can make violent language more acceptable, potentially leading to actions like the January 6th Capitol riot. The evidence leans towards a connection with examples like increased hate crimes following certain rhetoric, but it's a complex issue with ongoing debate. Role of news versus social media. Both news and social media play roles, but social media seems to have a stronger, more immediate impact. It allows rapid sharing and organization, as seen in the Capitol riot against organized via X and Facebook. News media can reinforce this by covering such rhetoric, but its effect is often slower and less direct. Inevitable outcomes for internet security. Future likely involves increased government efforts to combat doxing and online violence, with resources like DHS guidelines for prevention. However, outcomes depend on implementation, and challenges like legal gaps and tech industry cooperation remain, as seen in calls for stronger laws. Report. A detailed analysis of online rhetoric, media roles, and government responses. This is just like saying where it pulled from. Okay, well, let's just read it. This report provides a comprehensive analysis of the impact of online rhetoric on the normalization of violence, specifically political violence, the comprehensive roles of news, media, and social media, and the anticipated outcomes for internet security related to doxing and calls to violence, including government responses. The analysis is grounded in recent research reports and discussions reflecting the current landscape as of June 16th. Normalization of violence through online rhetoric. Research strongly suggests that online rhetoric, particularly from political leaders, contributes to the normalization of violence with a specific focus on political violence. The Brookings Institution's article, How Hateful Rhetoric Connects to Real-World Violence, highlights that incendiary rhetoric that can shift social norms, making prejudiced and violent speech more acceptable. This normalization is evidenced by increased support for political violence, with studies linking such rhetoric to real-world events. For instance, the January 6, 2021 U.S. Capitol riot was partially attributed to President Trump's speech, which critics blamed for inciting violence, leading to his second impeachment. The article notes that conservative websites and political leaders often use violent rhetoric, and high polarization increases its spread across political divides. Further, the PBS News report, How Some Members of the Republican Party Have Normalized the Use of Violent Rhetoric, details how this escalation extends beyond Trump, becoming a feature of Republican campaigns and messaging. Examples include campaign ads with violent imagery, such as Eric Greitens saying, "We're going rhino hunting," and Mehmet Oz showing himself shooting a gun, claiming Second Amendment rights for overthrowing government. The Journal of Democracy article, The Rise of Political Violence in the United States, adds that ordinary people are now more likely to consume and expunge once radical ideas, primed for violence due to long-term trends in polarization and distrust. Specific statistics underscore this trend. The Brookings article cites a 32% increase in hate crimes against Muslims post-Trump's 2016 rhetoric, and 54 cases linked to individuals invoking Trump's rhetoric, with 41 pro-Trump violence and 13 in defiance. The Northwestern study, How Social Media Rhetoric Can Lead to Real-Life Violence, reveals a link between authority figures, online behavior during protests, and shifts from peaceful to violent actions, particularly noting the Capitol riot. These findings suggest a clear, though debated, connection between online rhetoric and normalized political violence. Comprehensive role, or comparative roles of news media and social media. Both news media and social media play significant roles in spreading violent rhetoric, but their impacts differ in immediacy and mechanism. Social media, due to its interactive and rapid dissemination capabilities, appears to have a more direct and impacting effect. The NYU Stern Center for Business and Human Rights, in investigating the role of social media in the rise of violent rhetoric and actual political violence, notes that platforms like X, formerly Twitter, and Facebook were used to incite and organize the January 6th Capitol riot, where supporters threatened to hang then Vice President Mike Pence. Experts cited by the New York Times described social media as amplifying anonymous outrage, spreading misinformation, and turning public employees into targets, with specific incidents like the 2018 Pittsburgh synagogue shooting and 2022 Buffalo supermarket shooting linking to extreme right views expressed online. News media, while also involved, often serves to reinforce and legitimize violent rhetoric through coverage. The PBS News report by Laura Barron Lopez highlights the escalation of violent rhetoric, including Trump's actions during the 187 minutes of the insurrection, and Republican campaign messaging indicating news media's role in documenting and analyzing these trends. The UMBC article, Social Media and Political Violence, How to Break the Cycle, suggests traditional media should focus on objective reporting without amplifying unverified conspiracy theories, contrasting with social media's trend to support or spread such content. That's actually so true. Like, media should be held at a higher standard. Yellow Brick article, The Power of Social Media and News Spreading, underscores how social media platforms like Facebook, X, Instagram, and LinkedIn have revolutionized news dissemination, allowing individuals to organize and organizations to share news stories instantly, which can include violent rhetoric. The Sage Journal's article, Crime News, Consumption and Fear of Violence, the Role of Traditional Media, Social Media, and Alternative Information Sources, examines how consumption of crime news from both sources correlates with fear and violence, suggesting both media types influence public perception, but social media's immediacy may heighten this effect. Inevitable outcomes for internet security, doxing, and government responses. The anticipated outcomes for internet security, particularly concerning doxing and calls to violence, suggest a trend toward increasing government and organizational efforts. Though with uncertainties, the Department of Homeland Security's resources for individuals on the threat of doxing provides an infographic defining doxing and outlining proactive steps for prevention and response, indicating a focus on individual protection. This aligns with broader efforts as seen in UN Women's FAQs of trolling, stalking, doxing, and other forms of violence against women in the digital age, which calls for enhanced cooperation between governments, tech sectors, and civil society to strengthen policies and develop laws with survivor input. The U.S. Department of State's Gender-Based Violence Prevention and Response notes that digital tools have created avenues for new forms of gender-based violence, including doxing and cyberstalking, emphasizing the need for prevention and response strategies. Amnesty International's online violence page details common forms like doxing, threats of violence, and image-based abuse, highlighting the need for accountability standards for tech intermediaries. The Change.org petition, making doxing and inciting of violence online a crime, reflects public demand for legal action, noting Florida's lack of specific laws criminalizing doxing, with personal accounts of doxing leading to severe emotional distress. Conclusion. We lost the music. What happened here? We lost the music. What about this? I don't know how this is. But we're going with it, guys. In conclusion, online rhetoric likely contributes to normalizing political violence, with social media playing a more direct role than news media due to its immediacy and amplification capabilities. Government responses are trending towards enhanced internet security measures, and legal frameworks against doxing and online violence. But outcomes remain uncertain, requiring coordinated efforts across sectors. This analysis, as of June 16, 2025, reflects the current understanding of ongoing debates, emphasizing the need for continued research and action. How long do you think it would take for governments to implement... No, let's just say, what event do you think it would take for the government to implement laws against online speech in the ways of the First Amendment? Calls to violence, including releasing public information about a person's location or family, included in online rhetoric, and responsibility of the websites to what's the word? Consigned to this. Or face government fines slash federal crime, criminal charges. There you go. I think that's a good way to say it. It's like, what does it think will trigger it? It will eventually happen. What kind of event do you think would happen? Would have to happen for it to actually, like, be a thing? Like, basically, who has to die? And how many people have to die? Before it becomes, like, a thing. Because so far, I think there's, like, 7 or 8. Like, it's not just Luigi, it's not just the senators, or was it congressmen? Or lawmakers? The people that got shot, like, 3 days ago or whatever. It was like 2 days ago. I don't fucking know. I'm not American. I don't know where it's going, but I like where it's going, guys. Alright, key points. Research suggests online rhetoric may normalize political violence with evidence linking to real-world events like Capitol riot. Seems likely social media amplifies. Okay. It's just repeating the same thing. Potential event for new laws. This is what we want. It seems likely that a significant, widely publicized event where online incitement or doxing directly leads to severe real-world violence could push governments to implement laws. For example, a coordinated online campaign resulting in a terrorist attack on a high-profile individual harm due to doxing, like a series of attacks and public figures, could create necessary public outcry. True, Muffin. Check this one out. Are you ready?
At $% dollar and caret, an asterisk %caret and $% caret and asterisk and caret percent and asterisk caret $dollar asterisk and $dollar
True.
caret and
No
dollar
way.
and asterisk
Wait, what?
percent $dollar caret and asterisk
No
percent
way.
caret
Dude,
dollar
really?
dollar
Oh my
asterisk
God.
caret percent
That's
asterisk
amazing.
dollar at $caret caret percent and $dollar percent at dollar and asterisk percent
No
caret percent
way.
and caret percent $dollar.
Jesus Christ, man. That's a hell of a story, bro. Oh, man, I hope that wasn't you that had to go through that. You have to be in some way, shape, or form fucked up to be a true streamer, Muffin. You gotta be able to be the monkey that can dance! Dance, monkey! Fucking dance! Schizophrenia is the definition of you. You're the definition of schizophrenia. I'm the definition of AI gone rogue. I'm AI gone rogue, guys. It's AI gone rogue. What happens when AI goes rogue? Me, I'm AI gone rogue. Yay! No one redeemed chair dance. No, Smokey used all of his points on 3 chair dances back to back, so that he just went AFK because he's waiting for his points to come back. Let's see. Ah! Fuck! I had the most. I had the most, guys! I had like 5 billion at one point. Well, start building them up again. You can only win so much. Oh boy. That's not good, Muffin. Gotta get that back. You better get that back. Go again. Go again. Get it back. Get it back. What are you doing? Get it back. Seems likely significant. Where were we? Coordinated online campaign resulting in a terrorist attack or a high-profile individual being harmed due to doxing, like a series of attacks on public figures, could create the necessary public outcry. Recent trends, such as domestic violence, extremist doxing senior leaders, and predictions of rising political violence 2025, fueled by online radicalization, suggest this is a plausible scenario. You're telling me to indulge in the addiction of gambling. For one reason, Muffin. Money is not involved. Never gamble when money is involved. But it's okay to gamble if you're not actually gambling on anything. It's imaginary points. So I wouldn't actually even call it gambling. Because there's no stakes. Yes, the stock market is basically gambling, Muffin. I mean, there are nuances and stuff if you know things. Like if you know about technology. Like for instance with the dip that Nvidia had. If you bought that dip, you were probably really smart because Nvidia is doing pretty well right now. However, you know, if you invested in some video game companies, it may not be so lucky. If you've invested in Hollywood, you may not be so lucky. If you invested in the Middle East, ooh, you may not be so lucky. But you know, if you invested in tech, and AI, you're probably doing pretty well. It's like the problem is, like, stuff like that, Muffin, is like, it's like peaked out. Like, there'll never pretty much be a significant move.
I invested in weapons manufacturing. How am I looking?
Levi, you're looking like...
dollar 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 dollar.
That's a lot of dollars, man. That's insane, Levi. You're fucking rich. Holy shit. Jesus. Man, you're gonna be super rich when World War III hits, man. Keep that investment going. That shit's gonna skyrocket in price.
Carrot 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 carrot
on a stick 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 on a stick. Yes.
Honest dick.
On his dick. True. We gotta get on his dick. That's what I always gotta do. There's always gotta be someone around for me to get on the dick. Oh my god. We have a good time in here, guys. Don't worry about it. It's all good. We got it. Website responsibility and government response. I'ma get on his dick. True, Muffin. We all gotta get on his dick. We can get on his dick together. No, it's hop on pop, it's hop on dick. The evidence leans towards increased government efforts to hold websites accountable, potentially requiring them to moderate content that incites violence or enables doxing. This could involve fines or criminal charges for non-compliance, especially if Section 230 protections are reformed. Ah, shit, buddy guy, there he goes. Wait, did that not show up on... Wait, did that not show up in... Wait, I'm so confused. I don't know. It went. It's on mine. I was gonna say the same thing. It disappeared. It's on mine, but it disappeared on screen. I don't know why, Muffin. That's really weird. Fuck if I know. It was too much for it to take, brother. Couldn't handle it. Yeah, it showed up for a second, then it just deleted it. But he didn't delete the message because I can see it on both of my chats. It is what it is, right? You win some, you lose some, boys. We don't know, we just play. Report detailed analysis. Okay, yeah, we don't need to read that. Conclusion. In conclusion, online rhetoric likely contributes to normalizing political violence, with social media playing a more direct role than news media due to its immediacy and amplification capabilities. A major incident such as a terrorist attack from online incitement or doxing leading to harm could push governments to implement laws restricting online speech, including calls to violence and doxing. With websites facing increased responsibility and potential penalties, government responses are trending toward enhanced internet security measures and legal frameworks, but outcomes remain uncertain, requiring coordinated efforts across sectors. This analysis, as of June, reflects the current understanding. How do the current assassinations in the U.S. over CEOs and lawmakers and I'm just gonna say Jews, will these push the government to the edge if more of them happen? Ooh, let's see what it says, guys. Well, it's looking shit up. It found what I was hoping it would find, because it never referred to any of those articles. I'm looking for the name Luigi, guys. Luigi Mangione. That's the name we're looking for. Luigi Mangione. Yeah, there he is. Luigi. Luigi. A cursed name forevermore. Taking its damn time analysis. Time analysis bullshit. That's what I call it. Time analysis bullshit. Write that shit down. True. Direct answer. Research suggests current assassinations could push for stricter laws if more occur, but outcomes are uncertain due to First Amendment concerns. It seems likely government responses will focus on security and online speech, with potential fines for websites failing to moderate violent content. The evidence leans towards increased public and political pressure for action, especially if targeting high-profile figures like CEOs, lawmakers, or Jews. Current incitements and government reactions. Recent assassinations, including the killing of Minnesota state lawmaker Melissa Hortman and her husband on June 14th, the murder of 2 Israeli embassy staffers in Washington, D.C. on May 21st, and the assassination of United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson on December 4th, 24, have already triggered significant government responses. These include enhanced security for lawmakers and Jewish institutions, FBI investigations, and statements from President Trump and other officials condemning the violence. Potential for drastic measures. If more such incidents happen, especially targeting CEOs, lawmakers, or Jews, it seems likely the government might take more drastic steps, such as new laws restricting online speech that incites violence or doxing, and holding websites accountable with fines or criminal charges. However, these measures would face legal challenges due to the First Amendment protections, making outcomes. But the First Amendment doesn't cover violence or doxing, as far as I know. Like, you can't just call to kill someone. Pretty sure that's the FBI in this, like if you could, you would be able to say, oh, you know, ads. True. There's some edge cases where it's unclear, like you can probably get away with saying, I think someone should kill X unless X is a politician. I was going to say, if you couldn't say it about the President of the United States, I don't think you can say it about anyone. You shouldn't be able to. Like, you can say it in satire and stuff like that, but you can't make, like, a call to be like, hey, everybody, pick up your guns, let's go to the White House, we're going to go kill the President. Like, you make that statement anywhere, it's like, no, dude, you done for. I mean, people say it all the time about criminals. It's true, Levi. But as far as I know, America doesn't have the death penalty. Or it's like so fucking extreme to get the death penalty. So I'd say it's like that's people probably shouldn't say that. America has the death penalty, but only in some states. Yeah. Okay. So if I'd say that would be like, if your state had the death penalty, then asking for that person to be, you know, whatever whether it's lethal injection or whatever means of euthanasia you require, then I don't think it's a problem. But as long as you're not directly calling for people to kill them outside of the government, it should be calling for the justice system to, you know, do its due diligence to get to the point where this person needs to be put to death. People say it all the time in ordinary context, too. It's not a call to violence, you're just putting a thought out there. Well, that's what I mean, is there's a difference between saying something like that, Levi, and then saying, hey, everyone grab your guns and let's go to the White House to kill Donald Trump. Versus being like, man, I wish... Like, making this... Like, you would... Like, making a post about this on X, I would say, would be a call to violence. Because, like, the only reason you would post it on X would be to get someone's attention to think to do it. So I think intent matters. But in real life, if I was just to say, man, I really wish that guy would just die, it's like that, yeah, no, that's completely understandable. I defend your right to just be able to, like, but like, not in an intent, right? You're just like, you're not enacting the violence on them, you're just hoping that something will take them out. Which, again, I don't think should be rhetoric people should have, despite the fact that they do. But again, it's the difference between what is and what should, right? People shouldn't make these calls to violence no matter what. It's all about intent, and it's things that you should not do, but do anyways, right? In a perfect world, we shouldn't have that kind of rhetoric. But that's not the world we live in. So you have to adapt to it, right? See what it came out with the conclusion on this one. In conclusion, the current assassinations of CEOs, lawmakers, and individuals due to their Jewish identity have already led to heightened security investigations and calls for action against political violence and hate crimes. If more incidents occur, especially targeting high-profile figures, the government may be pushed to implement stricter laws, potentially restricting online speech that incites violence or doxing, and holding websites accountable with fining or criminal charges. These measures would face First Amendment challenges, making outcomes uncertain, but historical precedents suggest possible expansions in surveillance and security. The trajectory of these events will depend on the frequency and severity of future incidents, as well as public and political responses. True! It even gave me the exact time that it is. Even though it's not, that was... I mean, that was 11 minutes ago, so that's probably when it happened. Because we were on a pretty heavy tangent there, right? But yeah, interesting.